of course,
I'll
please retweet that if you dare.
Doing the thing.
Retweet the thing. Wanted a sequel to Step Brothers, and then I saw the reviews for fucking was it just ads? Fuck you, YouTube. Go fuck yourself. Bye extra. You don't get me watching you anymore. But yeah, then I saw the reviews for what's the Sherlock Holmes movie that they did? What's that?
Dr. Dolittle?
Oh, that's good. Holmes and Watson, right?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, Holmes and Watson. And I was like, yeah, these guys. And also, Anchorman 2 was like one of the great disappointments of
oh my god, what a terrible, terrible, sad thing that was.
Yeah, man. And I like saw it on a date, and like I don't even think I like had like I wasn't even in the mood to like have sex like afterward. I wasn't even in the
that takes a lot too. It put it in the down under. That's a bad movie experience.
One of the things, with the Ferrell, John Riley combos and stuff, it always seems like Will Ferrell's like the top guy, and John, except in Step Brothers when they were kind of equal, on level.
Yeah, they were more or less equal there. Yeah.
Yeah, but like with all the other movies that they're in together, unfortunately, it seems like Will Ferrell is always like the top dog, and they'll put John C. Reilly. Well, John C. Reilly's a great actor, great comedic timing. I mean, there's a lot that So I think that's why I enjoy that movie. For them, where like you were just saying, Mikey, about Holmes and Watson suck.
Yeah. Okay, so let's play the theme song, and then so we're gonna play the theme song, and then I want to do, before we even like start into the episode and like the recap and everything, I just want to watch the dad jokes thing. I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah,
we just need to. Yeah. Anyway, so let's go to theme song and then pretend we never talked about that, and away we go.
We're closing in 10. You're wasting my time. This ain't your bed. You give them a wink, or is it a blink? You only got one eye, so they gotta think. You hang around town with the film sims. You're selling your organs with the film sims. You catch a raccoon with the film sims. You'll name that raccoon Film Sims.
The Film Sims was shot before a live digital audience.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Hiddlesimps! Woo! Episode 3 recap! Woo!
Big party!
Yeah! So I am, of course, your host, Justin P. Drew, aka Shushy. With me, as always, for our Marvel things, is Mikey Jesus. Say hello, Mikey.
Hello, hello.
Hello. And then we have two special guests, a returning guest. Always love to have this gentleman on our shows. Give it up for Aaron Collins. Say hello, Aaron.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. And then finally we have Jack Slattery, first time on any of my shows. Say hello, Jack.
Hello, thank you for having me. So
you hail from Maine, right, Jack?
Formerly, I'm in Seattle now.
Oh, fuck. That's even better. But you started out in Maine, right?
Yeah, I started out in Maine.
So it's kind of funny because this has been kind of a Maine centric week because we had Ian Stewart currently, at the same time as you, and then still hailing from Maine. So it's cool.
I think the first time I met you was at an Ian Stewart show at a sketchy nightclub called Sapphire, and there was like 6 people there, and it was like really, it was bizarre. You don't remember that?
I mean, I've done so much acid.
Yeah, I mean, me too.
It's just, I mean, I remember I was like, that sounds like something I would have done. And I probably was high for the entire, was I headlining? Who was headlining?
I think you might have been headlining, yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that probably went very poorly.
That
probably did not go very well.
It was some sort of like really like mobbed out weirdo club in like Lewiston, Maine. It was a weird night.
Okay, who did I show up with? Who did I roll in with? Was it Bryce Hansen?
I don't remember. I just remember you eclipse all other personalities.
I'm just that big. Just I just got that much heft.
Philosophically, right? Not physically.
I mean, debatable on either end. Okay, so yeah, so well, good to have the group together, and yeah. So before we start the actual recap stuff, I just want to listen. So last fucking Sunday was Father's Day. I did not talk to my father, although I sent my stepdad a text saying, "Hey, thanks for putting up with our family, man. Sorry you married into this, but you kind of knew what you were getting to. You must have wanted this." Anyway, so fucking Marvel releases this Black Widow dad jokes promo video, and I don't know if they is their goal at this point to discourage you from watching this fucking movie? Because based on if this is the quality of what this is what you're putting into your promo, I don't know. I don't want to see what you're actually putting into your movie. Anyway, let's just watch it. I feel like poor Florence Pugh is. I felt more sorry for her here than I did at the end of Midsommar. Anyway.
Hey everybody, in Black Widow I play Red Guardian, a superhero spy, but he's also a dad. So you ready for some zingers?
No!
If we must, yeah.
Hey guys, why did the Black Widow wear a disguise? Because she was a spider.
Oh my God.
I don't even have to read them from the book. I know them. What are a spy's favorite type of shoes? Sneakers.
It's not even the jokes, it's the delivery.
Guys,
it's the delivery and the tact.
What do you call
a
a Canadian spy? A double agent. Ugh. I myself don't even like that one.
This is worse than the Hellboy reboot.
I discovered an Australian gorilla spying on me, and you know what I told him? You know what I said? I said, "Hey, don't pry, mate."
Do you think he's wasted right now?
Mate. But it's also like the word
I hope to
primate.
God.
Like, look at his delivery. I'm like, I hope at least he's drunk.
Clint Barton's brother has a super
I don't feel bad for Scarlett Johansson because I feel like this should just be her punishment for all eternity for her crimes.
Just admit it, you love my
She should just be just stuck in a room.
See?
This is her Ghost in the Shell penance.
Yeah, this is her. This is her thinking, defending the fact that she played a trans person or whatever. So then Mikey, you pointed this one out to me afterwards after I shared this to the group chat. I think this is in a way even worse. We were just talking, by the way, to preface this, we were just talking on Twins on Thursday about how great their marketing is, how much I love the marketing and the interview with the marketing person. And meanwhile, this is also the marketing we're getting. So other side of the coin. So I want to try, and I also think I found the original video that it came from.
Yeah, it's longer. It's like a minute or so, but this is a clip.
This is the first time for me in the Marvel universe.
There's that haircut.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So they literally took 5 different sentences and cut them together for this is the first time for me in the Marvel universe.
I want to see, but I do want to see if it is truly that bad.
5 million views. Yeah. Let's watch it.
Yeah, this one right here.
I'm Agent Mobius, by the way. How long have you been here? I don't know. It's hard to say. Time passes differently here in the TVA. What does that mean? You'll catch up. This is the first time for me in the Marvel universe. They first spoke to me about Iron Man and Captain America.
They really did not edit
Hulk.
that
I was like,
at all. They really did not edit that at fucking all, man.
We didn't quite get him saying what we wanted him to say, so let's just do it in post.
Maybe he tried a bunch of different takes, and then he was like, if I have to do one more, I'm literally going to kill myself. And they were like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, they're like, if I do one more, I'm going to die. I'm like, okay, well, let's just, we'll do it.
We got it.
We're all set.
We have enough. We'll just edit a couple of these together. Look, this is the first time for me.
It's literally the joke where people do the all caps like lowercase uppercase in sentences. That is his delivery, and it's amazing. I've never actually heard it done phonetically, so that's great.
Or maybe he was just having an acid flashback and was just trying to maintain. It's this is the first time for me in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Let's give credit where it's due.
I have never been in Marvel before.
It's very like I'm Poochie going back to my home planet's meme. It's very like what? Animation cell flies out. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's recap this episode. I don't think there's like a ton to actually recap, because there's like, you know, a handful of set pieces, right?
Yeah.
So just a quick recap, right? So episode 3, Lamentis, begins. We see a flashback to what the Loki variant, aka Sylvie, as we find out in this episode, what she was doing as Loki and Mobius were entering that Alabama, what was it, Rocks cart, right? Like the Walmart stand-in, like the just as evil Marvel version of Walmart, right? And I mean, you know, literally, run by an evil corporation, but maybe slightly less evil than actual Walmart. Actually,
well, I think Roxxon is like the Marvel, like you said, it's the bad guy. It's the big business entity for everything. So.
In universe, yeah, baby.
So Sylvie is in the security room, and she has one of the TVA employees, who we find out later on in the episode is actually a variant, as they all are variants. And I definitely want to just get into theories about that. Absolutely. So they're having like, at first, like, I was like, what is this? Like, you know, because they're having like kind of this old chat as friends, and they're getting drinks, right? But then Sylvie's asking her, where is it? She's asking her where the location of the variants are. Is that
how many people are guarding the variant? Or
how many people are guarding the variants? Yes.
Not the variants, the timekeeper people or whatever.
The timekeeper, that's right. Yes, right. Okay. So how many people are guiding the timekeepers? Basically, she wants to get to the timekeepers. She has a mission. Her mission directly involves getting to the timekeepers. So we see her, and she's kind of invading her head. Then, of course, you know, the really cool intro logo pops up, and she you know, we catch up to her, you know, directly following the events of the previous episode, where she comes through the door, and she, like I predicted, right? I predicted she was going to the TVA last week.
Yep.
I predicted that.
You did.
You know, that she put all that shit out there as a distraction. We saw all of the TVA people leaving the TVA. She arrives in the TVA, followed by Loki. She is surprised to find out that her powers do not work at the TVA, which is an interesting clue, because that means she's never been there. So, you know, if she is truly a variant, which, you know, people are saying that she might not be, right? You know, she at the very least has not been to the TVA, or at least doesn't remember it, right? I mean, maybe she was there and then mind wipe, you know, especially now that we know that every TVA employee is just a variant who had their mind wiped, right? So she goes, you know, some fucking, you know, MCU level action ensues, which is fine. And, you know, Loki catches up with her, and then they get, you know, they're about to get attacked by the Renslayer, you know, and then she tries to take Loki hostage, and the Renslayer's like, fucking kill him.
Fucking kill him, yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a
greatest
fuck about
moment.
this, dude.
I'll kill him. And she's like, yeah, go for it.
Good. Like, that probably saves me. Like, that saves me a murder to commit. And so then, you know, Loki zaps them to Lamentis, and that's where the bulk of the action of the episode, where they go there. What's the name of the device that Loki has? The Tempest?
Tempad?
Tempad.
Yeah.
The Tempad. So
it's a temporal pad. It's like it's an iPad.
I honestly, I've been calling it the portal gun.
The portal gun, right? Their portal gun. Rick's portal gun is is out of juice. So, you know, so they start off by fighting, but then all of a sudden they realize that they need each other. Lamentis, however, is this cool, dope ass. Just visually, I think this is one of the coolest episodes, and even coolest settings of any MCU thing. I mean, Can we agree like that? You know, and for those of you who maybe didn't see the episode, look at Jack's square. Look at Jack's. It's kind of I don't know if you heard me say this before the show started. I was talking to Aaron. I was like, man, is that just how Jack lives, or did you just like plan that? You're like, no, I'm gonna just light all this purplish shit.
I'm gonna say it literally is the aesthetic. I love it.
Well, I'm glad I made it work. No, I just live in a basement, have plants, and so I have some grow lights going. But
I told you, didn't I?
Hell yeah.
Plants
Hell yeah.
love purple.
I said but those are purple LEDs, baby.
You're
Yeah,
making that
LEDs.
perp, baby. That perp. But yeah, so anyway, so Lamentis is super cool. It's this neon kind of purplish, just kind of this desolate landscape, and you just see these fucking meteors from this moon that's about to crash into the planet. Like, and it's just
Lamentis is the moon. The planet is
Lamentis 1. Sorry,
Yes.
Lamentis is the moon. The planet is Lamentis 1. And so just like chunks of this planet are just fucking falling to the surface of the planet they're on, right? And they have to fucking navigate that, and then they meet an old lady. They try to swindle this old lady
in different ways. I love how they both use their own aggressively wrong techniques to try and swindle her.
Yes. Where
I use
Sylvie
violence.
Sylvie goes in with violence, and then Loki tries to become her presumably dead husband.
Manipulator.
Yeah.
And neither works. And then she tells them about a train station. They jump aboard the train, and then they have this great scene aboard the train. And I kind of want to hover here for a second, wherein they both kind of compare and contrast their different backstories. And it seems like they have two extremely different backstories, although Sylvie does play it a lot closer to the chest than Loki does. But Sylvie asks him, what he got up into back in Asgard, and she says, any princesses or princes? And he goes, a bit of both. And of course, like, you could hear like just a million queer people just going,
Finally.
So I mean, right now Loki is the most prominent queer character in the MCU automatically. I mean, it's literally him, and then that dude from the Eternals coming out later this year, and also just an extra in fucking Endgame. That's it. 3 gay people now. We got 3 people.
An extra the kisses that you can barely see them kissing in the background. Right. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. So so I've been playing this up, but let's just real quickly before we go with the rest of the episode, let's play a game I like to call Loki Top or Bottom. And we're gonna start with Aaron for this one. Aaron, what do you think? Loki top or a bottom?
So way to start with me with the lead. He's
You're the most twinkish of us.
I'm the least queer man here.
Well, it's not even. It's hard to say, because if you look, from what I would know or from what anything I understand of, he doesn't seem like a bottom, like a power bottom, but like maybe he doesn't enjoy like. But doing the research, as knowing that this question was going to come apart, the term "swish" was used, and I kind of agree with those who brought up that term because I can see the way he is, he could be a top and a bottom depending on who he's with, again, but he likes to be in power, but he doesn't like to be the power. It's a very, it's such, and I think that's why even too, like, yes, he's queer, but he'll do the damn. I mean, he just say, hey, I'm open. Let's go. Let's just do it. So, and that's why even the heated.
So you can say switch. What do you think he prefers?
I'd say he prefers top. I would say he would prefer top.
Okay, Jack, your turn.
I'm also going to go with he's a switch. I would like to further that with saying that he's most likely like a service top. Like he just wants to do a good job. He just wants he wants to make his lover happy in whatever way they want that to happen. He's accommodating.
So
then
he can in turn get what he wants from them.
For sure.
That's how he gets his power.
250%. Yeah.
That's how you sling that good dick, you get what you want.
That's how it works, right?
I feel like we've all been there.
Yeah. It's transactional. Yeah.
And then he's got the whole like illusion thing going for him. So like he can really play with people's fantasies. Like he can like be whoever they want him to be.
Yeah, this is this is valid. Also, Miss Knox in the chat decided to come in at the best possible time. Oh yeah,
The queerest time in the stream.
Oh wait, and I forgot our background is still. Oops, our background is still a Superman comic here. We're gonna put this
This is amazing.
We're gonna put this to this Tom Hiddleston like fan art that I found.
I
when
also
was researched on the first episode.
I also really love that they dropped this
during June.
During June, but
Yeah.
also during the whole Batman doesn't go down on people issue. Like Marvel's taking a stance and being like, they're basically saying like
This guy fucks.
this guy fucks. He'll do it all.
It's the first time in Marvel we've even talked about this guy fucks, really, because it's more like, well, I have romance with somebody, but meanwhile Loki's like, no, I got I got some princesses and some princes. I'm for whatever. Like that's not romance. That's like I smash.
Right. Well, and
I'll take it. Whatever.
We all know that Marvel by now, especially in the MCU, does even in the comic book side. Because I mean, Mikey would know this. Marvel's been trending this way for a good 20, 25 years, and even the comics. So this is great, but this was deliberate. Marvel knew this was going to be the first time they do it. That we're going to do it in June. We're going to do it with this. Again, we could have done it last year. I mean, everybody.
You think that's
ready.
why it took this the first two? Wait,
Yep.
didn't Falcon and Winter Soldier premiere in February?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little ham-fisted.
A little, yeah, just a tad.
No pun intended.
But so Marvel is premeditated, so again, they want all the exposure, like, hey, look at us, we're progressive, we're for, and again, I am a Marvel stan, I am that guy, but everything they do is so deliberate that it's actually, for me personally, not this issue, but Marvel itself, it's starting to, the troll jobs, something's coming, all these big things, it's starting to grind on me a little bit, because I need to enjoy the MCU again. I don't need to, and I mean, like, a Mephisto drops, so it's got to be this, or I want to be able to enjoy this stuff for what it is, as what it is, not what it's leading to anymore, or again, the hey, look at me, pop, I'm doing this. And again, that's longtime Marvel, fan MCU comics. So
I think Loki truly is like the enjoying it for what it is and not what it's building up to. I think like this is excellent. Also, I just want to point out this meme that my brother sent me.
Yeah. There we are.
Also, highly recommend joining the Gourmet Tarantino gourmet posting. Okay, or this is some serious Tarantino gourmet posting group. I think I've joined it since I saw this meme. But for those of you, we also have the podcast, so I just can't show a meme anymore because we just do rip the audio. So it's a scene from Pulp Fiction where Samuel L. Jackson is holding the mug, and he says that's that famous line, "This is some serious gourmet shit." But it's he is representing the LGBTQI plus community, and then the mug he's holding is Loki, is the show Loki. And yeah, I mean, like I said, like they are having a pretty, on this front, a pretty good month. I mean, arguably we could talk about other shit going on that's less good, but let's not. Let's just pretend it doesn't exist. This is our time to talk about Loki, boys. Now, okay, so wait, Mikey, you haven't gone yet, right?
No, I've not. But I mean, I think I pretty much agree with everybody here. I'm not sure where people stand. I'm not going to out anybody here, but I think I might be the only actually flat out bisexual man in the stream today. Flat out.
MCU, yeah.
Yeah, in the MCU. The entire MCU.
Yeah.
No, in the stream. So I can say like okay, so number one, Loki, power bottom, possibly top, but also like I think I agree with everybody. Like he's just trying to like his goal is satisfaction. So let's get to that, because that is his character. That is his characterization. And also this was a long time coming. It's in his lore as a character. I also think this is the easiest character to make LGBTQ plus, right? I think
he's pretty gay coded, yeah.
Yeah, not only gay coded, but also even in lore of the character, the traditional character. At one point he is everything. He's women, he's men, he transforms himself. At one point he's a horse. You guys know the story of the horse, right? Where Odin's horse, his six-legged horse.
Of course. Sleep.
Right. So literally, he became a female horse that could get fucked, and then became like his so to give birth to a six-legged horse for his father. So like, okay, yeah, cool. So he's all over the place. So if you want to talk about this, is also a perfect place for furries. Marvel ain't going that far, but they could. That's all I'm saying is they could.
I mean, give it another 10 or 15 years.
20 years, like, yeah.
That's
Also,
what, yeah.
Loki's he's a furry. That's cool.
That's what all like the conservative Christian kids I like went to school with that never like grew out of it like I did probably think that it's like, oh my god, Loki's bisexual, like in 10 years Iron Man's gonna be fucking a goat, you know. This is a slippery slope, guys.
I'm from the Midwest, so that's all you hear is like, you're gay? Well, then why can't you just fuck your cat? I'm like, well, because doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Just physiologically.
So my answer is I'm gonna go Loki bottom, Tom Hiddleston top.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
There we go. But yeah,
baby.
Anyway, so I thought that was a super cool section, cool moment in the episode. What?
Can I actually tag one thing on that because it actually ties more into this? So it also reminded me of with the variant and Loki's saying this. Loki would fuck himself. It reminded me of the Seinfeld episode. Like the only person I was ever looking for was me. And when Jerry was with the girl, like was him and stuff. I think Loki just and it's the satisfying, but to satisfy other people satisfies him. That's where he draws his power from. But he's just looking for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to tag on that real quick, and then we can move on. But like, there were like 3 moments in this episode that I thought were great because Marvel will not go to a place where Loki is having sex with like his female self, but they literally play with a moment where like there's these romantic like cues, and like I'm glad that they're moving on from maybe he's queer, maybe they're queer, whatever, to like maybe they'll fuck themselves in an alternate universe. Let's get to that place where like the queer is not a thing that you have to worry about. Maybe the thing you have to worry about is he gonna fuck his like female version of himself? Is that weird? Like
that would be.
Let's get out there because literally there's a moment where like she's trying to take his brain over and he's trying to.
They were close.
Enchant him, and they were like, it feels like this moment like let me just touch you on your head, and it lasts for like 8 seconds, and you're like, are they gonna kiss?
Yeah, I mean, and I think they're definitely kind of playing with that. I mean, and of course, like if there was going to be a soulmate for Loki within the MCU, would it not just be Loki, right?
Oh,
like, would it
for
not,
sure.
I mean, that is almost too easy to write, right? That is almost, but yeah, so. So, I mean, that was cool. I think that the actors Tom Hiddleston and Sophia Di Martino have fantastic chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
They're and that's what I love so far about this show, where even when there's no bang bang zoop zoop zip zop type shit happening, like you are invested. Like in the first episode is mostly talking of this show, and I saw people complaining about it, but it was like, no, but the conversation between Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson is just fascinating, is just riveting, and just so well done. These two actors have fantastic chemistry, although, of course, Owen Wilson, not in this episode, completely missed. Yeah. If I had 2 complaints about this episode, it was no Owen Wilson, number 1, and number 2, the fact that... it's like a good 10 minutes shorter than the first 2 episodes, and you feel it when it ends. It's like really,
it's fast. They could have added
like 33 minutes in. They end through, and the other episodes went into like 40 to 45. I double checked for this.
Yeah,
like they went to I think the first episode is like the better part of an hour. Actually,
it's like 53 minutes. Yeah.
So, I mean, that sucks. That was annoying.
There should have been there should have been a stinger. Because it definitely. Owen Wilson 100% missed that episode. I mean, it could have been something completely different, setting up a second cliffhanger. I mean, we saw what happened. We saw the oh shit moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely.
I was actually going to say that. Do you think this is the episode they should have had the stinger? Because I think so. Like, I don't think you need one for every episode, but I think this is the one where like you're focused on this really emotional, like personal story between the two versions of Loki. Yep. I really feel like a stinger would have been a good way to do it versus like going into
stories.
like actual cut back and forth.
I don't agree that it should have been a stinger. I think that what they should have done, personally, is that they should have just given us like a 10-minute chunk in the middle of the episode showing us what Owen Wilson and the TVA is currently up to. Although I'm sure we're going to see that next episode.
Pacing,
like literally, when in the middle of the episode, when they're on the train, and then it kind of their conversation tapers off.
Sure.
Like in the point, like literally end there, and then do all the Owen Wilson TVA stuff in its own like kind of just chunk, right, and just set up that for whatever like the future episodes are going to hold there, and then come back in when Loki's singing the chant, right?
Yeah. That's beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, that would have been, which is great. And yes, and so anyway, so she passes out, even though she says that she can't sleep on trains, but she passes out. and
he gets drunk, even though the Asgardians shouldn't really be able to get that.
They're
drunk.
all full of shit, is what it is. I love how like, and to Justin's point, like they shouldn't be able to do like, and also like everybody is like they're both Lokis are full of shit. I can't sleep with like this thing behind me. Like there's a door on either side of you. Like like as much as she seems cool, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about either. So
yeah. And so then she wakes up, he's doing this drunken chant, which inevitably starts all the people on the train to be suspicious of them, and then they end up getting thrown off the train. She follows them, and then the temporal pad is broken, because it was, I guess, I thought it was like in, hidden in like a secret universe or something. Like I didn't realize it was just on him in like one of his pockets.
He was bullshitting.
Yeah. So it's smashed. So then they like are about to give up, but then decide that they're just gonna hijack the fucking rocket. The rocket that everybody on the train was going to get off the planet. That's about, because the planet, of course, is
Ark.
The Ark, right? Because the planet they're on is an apocalypse event, and apparently the worst one. So then they go and they get all the way to the city, and then instead of just recapping it, I just want to show. I found just video of the clip. And so I just want to just play this real quick. This is just the last 2.5 minutes of the episode. And I just think this was just so cool. I do think that like the fighting in this show is, if we were comparing this to like, superhero movies with good action scenes, like Zack Snyder things, this is miserable. For Marvel, it's just about average, which is sad.
But I also said this at least suits the story, unlike where it's like it's just random action for no reason. So like it's functional.
Yes. Okay. But yeah. So this is them trying to get. This is the last couple of minutes of the episode trying to get to the Ark. And I just love the whole one-shot thing.
Also, they're in Night City from Cyberpunk 2077, apparently. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Keanu Reeves confirmed.
Well, this is also a one-shot, like Children of Men one-shot. You can see where they can cut it.
Yeah.
Of course, like Birdman,
Right.
Anytime they go like down a dark hallway, I mean, it's fine.
Oh, you swooped around a pole. There you go.
That's fine.
Yeah, I didn't even really care about the one shot. I just cared about I cared about what they were doing story-wise, and that's how you make these scenes work.
Yeah.
Children of Men, same thing. Like you make that work because you care about what's happening.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've said many times on my various shows that I'm less interested in action for action's sake, versus action that's emotional, that actually serves the characters. And this action absolutely serves it. So what is that right there? Does he have the time stone?
Thank you.
No, that's just one of his many powers. He has many spells, so I wouldn't take that as. I saw people talking about him having the time stone, which would be cool, but
shouldn't he just be able to fly then? If you can take that thing.
That's what I was. It seems like a OP extension of your power there. I mean,
we've barely seen his powers in the MCU. done well. And I think the whole thing is it's concentration and spells. It's not like you do a power. It's not a power. He has to conjure a spell in a moment. So it's not like I flex my muscle. He has to actually, in his mind, do a spell. So
I do love how she walks away, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I do think if this episode was 10 minutes longer, that would have been like the best episode.
Fucking fantastic.
Series.
Yeah.
You know, I think like the only reason I was let down was I was like, really? It's over now. And then the fighting was almost cheesy. Lucille saw. I mean, I get it. It's fine. I don't know. I've never looked to Marvel to be like great at action. You know, that is the last thing I go to Marvel for.
I think Marvel is an example of a storytelling convention where it has to do with how much you're invested in what's happening story wise. So if you're not interested, it's terrible. If you're interested in the story and where it's going, I will say there are a few times where I kind of like blipped out. I'm like, this could be shorter. Like even that scene, I'm like, I know where you're going. You probably don't have to be this long. But I know, like, Justin, you're not a big fan of this movie, but Winter Soldier, like, the highway sequence, to me, is, like, that's storytelling to me. So I find that really exciting.
I also haven't seen it since
is fucking amazing. It's one of the best action sequences in the whole... It's better than the Civil War, anything in Civil War, other than the final battle, honestly.
I like the final battle of Civil War, but I've only seen Winter Soldier once, and it was in theaters, because somebody dragged me to it. Because somebody was like, you got to see. Because I didn't watch Marvel. I had only seen like Iron Man at that point.
Yeah.
And nothing else.
So you're probably not invested. Yeah. Really.
And so I didn't. And you're right, absolutely right. I was not invested in any of these characters. I didn't give a fuck. And then I was like, I don't know. This seems like a Marvel thing. Like this is.
We see Bucky like attacking and like in Black Widow fighting back. That's a great sequence. But meanwhile, like something like this does that. But it's also I actually think it goes on too long. I don't think the time that we needed. I think we needed 10 more minutes. I agree. Not sure we needed it in an action sequence though. In this one, I feel like this is long enough.
I mean, as a final action sequence, I thought that was pretty good. I just thought that I wish there were 10 extra minutes, but they were all Owen Wilson and the TVA
right
doing shit.
Yeah, plot
stuff. So I did ask this, but I just kind of want to revisit because Mikey, you answered this question. So let's start with Jack for this one. Do you think because it has been? I know Mikey shot it down, but it has been theorized so many places that I've seen. Do you think Loki actually stole the time stone from that drawer, and do you think he used it to stop that column that was about to fall on them?
Yes, that seems like something he would do, and we've never seen Loki do that before, right? So it's seemingly a new power. So yeah, it makes sense to me. Like he would steal a time crystal time stone if he could.
It's true. I mean, and he had the chance, but we also don't know how bad they were. Like how much they've been like patting him down.
Right. Sure.
Since he's been in there. All right, Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, that's a chance. That was, and for me, there was two, you're talking about cringeworthy. I had the biggest question on the first watch and rewatch of that. I said, how the hell did he do that? I've never seen Loki do that, have that kind of power. They did use a lot of that episode to try to explain where both got their powers. So, and when I'm looking at the conversation between the two Lokis, I'm thinking of the multiverse of Lokis now. So this 2-on-2 or 1-on-1 conversation is happening, they all are going to have different power sets. The time stone theory, again, that was one that I came across after, and I'm like, it is a possibility. And is it going to be such a simple MacGuffin as that's going to restart the time pad, or whatever? Does he have that? My other theory on that is he's using his illusion to trick her to get him on her side. He never broke the thing. They can get off that planet. They're going back to the T. As soon as he can trust her. And again, I hate to be that speculative guy. I promised I was never going to do this with Marvel anymore, but I think he still has.
Why are you on this show then, Aaron? Why the fuck are you here?
I mean, for my own sanity, so to speak, because I have, since Infinity War, even prior to that, the speculation of what are they really doing has taken me out of. But I don't think that the time pad is broken yet. I think he's using that as his trick thing. And my other unfortunate, maybe, and I know you didn't ask this question yet, but because I'm thinking about it, is I am worried I have the double-edged sword with this. I'm very happy that the Rick and Morty writers are on this, but I'm worried that it's turning too much into Rick and Morty.
No, how could you ever?
How
could that ever be a bad thing?
Well, no, I love them. I love, but what I'm saying is,
did you see the Mr. Nimbus episode? That shit was
one?
tight. Yeah, the new one.
Well, no, and you know, these guys are great for that. You know, to go because I mean, you need to have, you know, when you look at how Thor had evolved. You know, we talk about getting the right writer, director, you know, thematics, the right person for the property, and such, or where you're going. I'll also toe that off with I am terrified of the Eternals movie. From the marketing and what I see, I am terrified of this movie.
Really?
I would rather see, and I was thinking about this earlier, I was going to bring this up, I would rather see Marvel presents James Cameron's The Eternals or something. I am terrified of seeing, and I love a lot of the guys, you know, that they have in this movie, but, you know, and this will be a future one, but, you know, a little preference, I'm terrified of that movie coming out.
Why?
I want it to be good. I want it to, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, nobody wants it to be bad.
Well, no, and you know, I mean, I'll have hope for everything. And I'm the guy who likes the obscure people and this cosmic side. But I'm seeing this thing, and I'm a huge. And don't get me wrong, ask my girl. Ancient Aliens is my jam. So that is my wheelhouse. Everything about that movie should be my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've seen from it, I am terrified that that movie might be Marvel's.
You've only seen one trailer. It was
we all said that same shit about like Shang-Chi. Like I was that way at first too, until like literally saw the first trailer. I'm like, that looks pretty okay. And then the second trailer, I'm like, that looks fucking. That's the tits.
Yeah,
that's the tits and the bull. Like the bull has tits now, and that is what it is.
And we will be watching, by the way, the Shang-Chi trailer at the end of this broadcast. So stay tuned for that if you're one of the 4 people watching right now. But speaking of Rick and Morty, and I shouldn't even be playing this, but I can't help myself. They've been releasing the cold opens for every new episode, so this you can watch this out of context. There's really nothing here that would like spoil anything, but goddamn, you know, I feel like they're actually like on a real kicker right now. I don't know. I just thought that was amazing. And how interesting did you think that would stay? But yeah, I don't know. I think it's only a boon to the MCU to get people who have done good shit in the past.
Like I said, I wasn't poo-poo and saying, you know, it's a good thing that they're in there, but I'm worried that, you know, again, maybe for someone like me, I'm like, oh, I've seen that, or, oh, I know where that came from, you know, type of thing as an explanation. Or my other worry is with the MCU, they have to dumb it down for certain people, meaning like, you know, the common audience who just wants to go see something. So we're going to take maybe some really hard.
Yeah, but that's why they made Black Widow for those people.
Oh God!
I feel like this is for us. This is for us.
And that's actually, speaking of, are any of you guys excited about Black Widow?
No.
Any of you? No. Yeah, I'm not. I cannot wait to not care about this movie.
Yeah, I can't wait to review it with you. Actually,
oh, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna. This might. It might. You know what? You'd totally win if this is a lower rating than fucking Far From Home. We'll see. We'll see. I think Far From Home is still my lowest rated MCU film, but
which is fucked up.
If this gets lower,
I like
what?
I liked Far From Home.
I liked it too. Mikey's wrong.
Liked it.
Mikey's wrong.
I don't know where to interject this, but the number one thing that drove me crazy about episode 3 is that their Pip-Boy ran out of batteries. Like that is so like you have the ability to like manipulate time and like do all like erase people from history, like change time streams, and you're still relying on a battery. Like I don't like that.
So that could be a Loki. You know, people are saying. I mean, I've seen crazy theories. Also, I just need to know what is she saying no to?
She's saying no, like she's not excited for Black Widow.
No. Far From Home is worse than Iron Man 2 or 3.
That was separate comment. So no, like anyone excited for Black Widow?
It is way better than I watched Iron Man 2 like a month or two ago.
Iron Man 3 is amazing though, so I don't care what people say. That's a great movie. Iron Man 2 is not great, but Iron Man Iron Man 3 is amazing. It's great, so I don't care what people say. It's about PTSD, so you know what? Shut up.
Yeah, I think I would.
I'll get someone on my side on that, please.
Oh, I'm all about 3.
Thank you. All right.
Iron Man 2 sucked. Iron Man 2. It starts off like interesting at least, and then it's just They don't do anything with Mickey Rourke, and you have such a great actor like Mickey Rourke, like when he's in the good role, and then you're just gonna make him do like a bad Russian accent.
As we've said, they started that movie without a screenplay, so that's going to be a not great film, and that is how you make a bad movie.
Mikey, no!
Now,
I can't wait for. So in August, we have to do a special stream sometime in mid-August, late August, where it's
When's your
it's the far from home stream where we can get as many people that love that movie on, and I just fight all of like Smash style, like it'll be like Mortal Kombat. We all fight.
We've been talking about this. We're gonna call it Far From Mikey. When's your birthday? What day is your birthday in August?
24th.
The 24th of August. Okay, wait. So August 24th is a Tuesday. Let's just do the stream that night.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm taking the day off, so
take the day off. So we'll just do
we'll fight
Far From Mikey. And, yeah, we're gonna do it. And so
it's like a roast. It's like doing a roast because my opinion is wrong, and I know that, but I don't care. It's right. My opinion is right.
I definitely, and I know I'm not of the minority here, I definitely need more Sam Rockwell, Justin Hammer in my MCU.
Right. Well, that's the thing they did well.
Good character, bad movie.
Yeah. Bring him back, baby. He should have been back already. Why has it been so long? But
I mean,
look what they did. They absolutely could, because look what they did with Zemo. Because Zemo is one of the weaker parts of Civil War, and then Zemo is probably the best part of Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
I mean specifically Zemo's dance moves.
He made me relate to him, and that's a thing you could not have gotten from me in Civil War. But when I see him dancing, I'm like, yeah, I relate to him.
That's how I dance. I'm a white person. That's how we dance.
You and me the same.
and that's again, we're so far off, but that's with like the Justin Hammer and Iron Man 2. He was the antithesis of Tony Stark. Everything was opposite. Tony was smooth, cool, and Justin Hammer doing his jam. Armor Wars is coming up. I could see him.
I really hope he's back for that. Yeah. And they're keeping they're keeping the cards close to the vest.
And he was a big factor, in the comics, in the storyline of the comics. So yeah.
Anyway, so we talked about that ending. I don't know what else is there really to talk about the episode. Okay, so actually, here's a theory that I have, because one of the big reveals in the episode, right, is I talked about this kind of at the beginning of the episode a little bit. I touched on it. So Sylvie tells Loki that all of the TVA employees are actually variants, which is a surprise to him.
One?
Yeah, so who was the first one? And so I'm throwing this just out there as a theory. Okay, I haven't seen this theory anywhere else, but I just do want to just kind of get ahead of it in case it is. I think Mobius is an Owen Wilson variant. Get it? Because Owen Wilson came to us in the 90s. The 90s of the decade that birthed Owen Wilson, and Mobius is obsessed with the 90s. He's obsessed with the 90s specifically. Like he drinks Josta, which is a drink that was only sold in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Obsessed with jet skis, which came out in the 90s. I think he's an Owen Wilson variant, personally. I know that we're probably going to see him like, oh, he was just some boring office worker dude. No,
maybe he was like a fucking awesome action guy. Like it'd be amazing if you cut to him before in his previous life and he was like a James Bond. That's not going to happen, but that'd be great. Good for him.
But yeah, but anyway, so that's my theory. But I just want to go around and let's just what do you think? What do you think the end result of that is? Because obviously Loki's going to go back and tell Mobius at some point that he's actually a variant. Why do we think this is significant? What do we think this is going to be like the catalyst of later in the season? Let's start with Mikey for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing that I really see that leading into is, and I'm actually really happy for this revelation because it kind of feeds into like what my theory's been the entire time since episode 1, which is that it's going to unleash and reopen the multiverse, right? So those people get to go back to their timelines, get to go back to their split time streams, and allow themselves. Because I mean, you see how big the TVA is. And I think I forget who said it. I think it was maybe last episode, or maybe it was Jer who said it in the first episode. But that it looks, when they look out the window, it looks so big, like almost too big, too epic. Like, well, that's because that makes sense if all those people that are working the TVA are all variants. We're talking about billions and trillions of people, right? that are variants to make things operate. So those people have to go back to their timelines, meaning many split timelines, of course. So it would be, I think it's, to me, that it kind of feeds into, like, just put them all back. You all go back to your place. You're now the, 10 million, 10 trillion versions of this one outcome, right? So I think that'd be fun to see that play into the idea where everyone gets to go back where they're coming from. We even see that with was it C20? I think her name was, right? Where she's like, I want to go back. I want to go back. I want to go back. Everybody goes back to their timeline, and that's the resolution. And so that opens up things for what if. That opens up things for multiverse of madness. That's what I see happening. I think that'd be really fun. But that's my really playing it safe. That's my playing it safe.
Okay. Jack, what do you think?
I think they already all know that they're variants and that they've been indoctrinated some fashion to, they all think that this is like the proper real thing to do. They're like, okay, so I'm not going to get obliterated with one of those like light maces or whatever. It's like that, or I'll work for you. Okay, I'll work for you. I think everybody's in on it because, like, you don't like, everybody has like a goofy name like C whatever, or B12 or whatever, and B12. Then he has the cool name of like Mobius. I don't know. That seems like he's in on it.
It is a cool name. Come on, one of the greatest artists of all time.
He has that cool name.
But I wonder if it's just the time cops that are called like C20, because there's Mobius, you have Renslayer. I mean, we haven't really what's his name? Randy? Is it Randy from Good Place? The guy. I can't think of his name.
His name is Casey.
Casey.
Yeah.
So maybe it's C -20 is their branch of the multiverse they were extracted from, type of thing. Not to step on that.
But in the comics, aren't they all clones in the TVA or something?
Yes.
Okay, so
they're all the same guy, basically.
Right,
like you're all the guy.
Right. So a coded C12 whatever kind of name makes more sense if you're all clones or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I don't know. It's interesting that they're flipping that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really just playing on the same concept, really. A clone, a copy, a version of a multiple version from a different universe. It's sort of the same thing. So it's very MCU to say like, yeah, it's close enough. Like, it's not a clone, but it's there's still millions of the same one because they're multiversal. They just never meet each other because they work in different branches. So I think it's a very Marvel way to handle that problem.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, what do you think?
So the ramifications for the Loki's knowledge of that. I think that Loki is going to utilize that to actually gain again. I think the show is a lot about trust and breaking barriers of trust with himself. But I think that's how he's going to say, "Look, I have this info. I can help you. I can get you back. For this. I can free it all." And that's gonna, I mean, Mobius and Mobius. I mean, the Mobius strip. I mean, it's the figure 8. He is a key. The time, all these things. My theory on the whole TVA, especially after, seeing the size, was two things. It's either the negative zone, or a subsection of the quantum realm, which might be a future, jail. Like we have the raft for the superpower, that like TVA gets absolved, but they still have the space. The theory was, this is, the TVA was created by Kang through, and the 3 timekeepers might be 3 versions of Kang, past, present, future, whoever. There's so much paperwork. I mean, they say it right in the front. It could be right in your face that there's so much paperwork. I can't keep track of it. We're going to sever this. I'm creating a bureaucracy so that everything ends up exactly, he's just sitting so far in the future, and kind of like with Thanos when he said, fine, I'll do it myself. This is going to have, the timeline and multiversal ramifications. So Loki's knowledge of this is going to get Owen Wilson on the side. It's going to keep him in the MCU, but again, I think a lot of the thematics, with this particular show, it's about trust and who we can trust and what we're willing to do, those barriers. And it's really interesting. I mean, so that's my theory.
So Lady Loki Doki has entered the chat, which thank you for following us.
Yeah.
I feel like this. Do you want to have this show? Do you want this show? Because you got the name for it. But because I did put it so you have to follow me for at least 10 minutes before you can comment. Because in the past, people have just come on, spam the N-word and left. So so that
Twitch,
helps
baby.
deter that, because it's just I got it. Racists gotta like hang in for like 10 minutes. And and as we know, racists they're just
No patience.
Impatient.
no patience those. Oh,
it's Roxanne. Hi.
Oh, hi, Roxanne. But how many other Marvel movies were directed by Oscar winners? P.S. This comment is re-Eternals, but Twitch made me jump through hoops to make it. And then it's Roxanne, like she said. And hi, Roxanne. Hi, nice to have you on board.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, I mean that's how I feel. I feel I've seen a lot of people shitting on the Eternals. But yeah, I don't know, man. Fucking Nomadland was one of the best movies of last year. I mean, it wasn't like one of my personal favorites. It's just too bleak and kind of miserable, just as a narrative. But I mean, I understand why people, hold it in such high acclaim. I mean, and we've had people who have, won Oscars and, done, awesome jobs with, Oscar movies before that have gone and made a superhero movie that was just ass and then kind of ruins their legacy a little bit.
Wonder Woman 1984, baby.
Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, fucking, what's the name of the dude who directed Green Lantern? He'd already done like fucking GoldenEye and Casino Royale before he did the fucking Green Lantern. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't. It doesn't look like amazing to me, but I'm waiting to waiting for more stuff to come on. I don't think we've seen very much. I think at the very least it does look kind of gorgeous. I mean, just from a cinematography.
Can I get a vote between the panel here today, but also commenters can chime in so we can get a vote. What are you more excited for right now? Black Widow or the Eternals? What are you more interested to see? Not even excited, but what are you more interested in seeing?
Aaron, what do you think?
I would say, even though based on my previous statement, I would say Eternals over Black Widow because of definitely the cast. And my comment wasn't, that director, just the whole vibe of the Eternals so far. That's what I was saying. Just that's what I'm worried about when I say my first fear in a Marvel movie. I had nothing. And didn't Kenneth Branagh direct the first Thor movie?
Yeah. So
again, so yeah, actually, yeah, there you go.
Fair enough.
So it had that fucking that Murder on the Nile energy. Anyway, okay, Jack, what do you think? What are you more excited for, Eternals or Black Widow?
I would go equally unexcited for both.
Whoa.
Neutral. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm based on that clip we saw of Black Widow, I'm not excited.
The dad jokes one at the beginning of the episode.
And I haven't seen anything about Eternals. I don't know anything about Eternals, to be honest. So that was like out of my grasp.
I think, and also I love this comment between the two, the Eternals. Sorry, Natasha, you're 5 years too late. Like, sorry, Natasha, you can't play any of the Asian characters in that movie. Sorry, Natasha.
Whoa.
Well, I think my question is, what am I more excited for between Black Widow and the Eternals? Motherfucking Shang-Chi, baby, Abomination.
Shang-Chi, baby.
But yeah, okay, so. Let's ask one more question about this episode. Because like I said, I feel like this was kind of half an episode. Like I feel like we're, they're going to be so far, even like I think one episode from now, just the events of this episode are going to feel like ancient history for what we're about to see. And I've seen a trailer for episode 4, and I think we're getting like a deep dive into Sylvie's backstory. Mm-hmm. So that's going to answer a lot of questions that we have. So I don't even want to kind of speculate or theorize about that. I disagree, says Board already. I disagree with your disagreement. Okay. So last question. And Miss Knox pointed out, Tom said Ford 5 are his favorite episodes. Yeah. Final question. How do we think they get off the fucking planet? How do we think they get off the fucking planet? I actually want to start because I think, remember episode 2 when he first gets into the rocks cart, he does something. You know, you got like the green glow, right? That kind of just zoops his whole body. And then, you know, and then what's her name sees it, and then he's like, oh, I'm just drying myself. But it's Loki, right? It's Loki. He's not just drying himself. And I still think he has that fucking time stone. So maybe he like made some sort of like photocopy of himself in space so he can like, you know, I don't know. I think like it has to do with the time stone. I think that, you know, he returns to that moment somehow and can like re-engineer it. That's my theory. You know, obviously it's not a very good one, but let's go around. Let's start with Jack for this one. How do you think they get off of the fucking planet in this?
Jesus.
In this episode?
Is it not out of the realm of possibility that and forgive me, I forget his name, but the dude from the Rainbow Bridge dude just shoots him a bridge? Could he not just like pull out some god powers and be like,
how did they get his attention?
Maybe, I don't know. He's Loki, you know, he's always got somebody's attention. Maybe he's got a direct channel.
On 2077, ideally the man is dead.
Yeah.
He died in 2017, right?
That's why I thought it'd be cool if they went back in time instead of further, and because it'd be a really good misdirect. But in 2077, yeah, like Heimdall's dead. He's dead.
They gotta have like a new Rainbow
Ragnarok's
guy,
happens.
right?
No, I mean like all of like
okay.
the whole it's all gone.
I mean,
unless they're setting up something where it gets rebuilt.
Although I didn't catch it enough to really notice it, but the person I watched episode 3 with noticed that it looked like Doctor Strange's necklace might have been somewhere, and so maybe like
that's the time stone.
Okay, yeah. So, but it was like his necklace without the stone in it, maybe. I don't know. She noticed it, I didn't. But so maybe I don't know. Maybe Doctor Strange. I don't have a good opinion on this.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go with Rainbow Bridge or Doctor Strange.
Rainbow. So either him and Sylvie enter the Mario Kart tournament, and then they take Rainbow Road out of there, or Heimdall. Okay, Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know if the Rainbow Bridge has been rebuilt. I mean, because New Asgard is over there in Norway right now. Again, I mentioned it earlier. I think that the time pad, was never broken. I think this was because he said even at the beginning of the episode before they took off, look, I'm trying to get you on my side. This whole thing was about, again, the barrier. So I think he's finally going to say, oh, look, kind of a throwaway or something in that time in 2077 is going to come. Bowserette.
Real quick.
That's funny.
Doug, Bowserette is not a character. Doug Fitzgerald wrote in the chat, Bowserette to the rescue. Bowserette not a character.
So
Bowserette does not exist.
Out of left field, I love it.
Anyway, sorry. Continue, as you were, Aaron.
No, all good. But yeah, or Wilson's going to show up. But I really, or the time stone theory. I mean, so we have a few options with that. Again, side note, Lamentis 1 in the comic books, one off. It was the beginning of the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah.
Where Annihilus showed up, it was the first planet they got destroyed. So I think same thing too. That the reason why I think we're not going so much into the past is two things. It's safer for Marvel to go to apocalypses in the future than to go in the past and really, they could go to Pompeii because they're not going to really piss off any grandkids. So they're going to go to the future. That allows that type of stuff. But it also, by them going in the future, they say, oh yeah, remember they can always revisit Lamentis 1 now for different reason, different movies, different, so that's just opened up a whole thing there too. So some sort of portal is going to show up, but I think Loki's just going to pull that fixed one or the non-broken one right out and be like, yeah, it was me all along, forget all that drama. This was just team building.
All right. Okay, Mikey, what do you think?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like you guys accidentally stumble across like what would be the coolest way for that to resolve is plot-wise, which is like, okay, New Asgard. They built a new rainbow. It's 2077. It's the future. So we don't have to do that now. Don't worry about where it is now. In the future, yeah, we
Maybe
built
a
the river
Valkyrie
bridge.
cameo.
I saw Loki was in trouble, so I like rescued him and this random ass chick he was with. What's that about? Whatever. That's awesome. I think that'd be great. I think and also Time Stone thing, great idea. Love the subterfuge. I don't think it's gonna be that exciting. I think it's literally like, yeah, Mobius gonna be like, yo, I saw you. I'm here to save you. And then we're gonna get another Mobius pulling them into. We're gonna have this prison episode or prison break kind of thing happening. That's what I think. I don't know. I think it's gonna be the least interesting version of those things.
That's what I'm worried about.
It's gonna be because we also spent an episode. The reason why I think that's gonna happen too, also to everyone's credit of like how creative and awesome that is. However, we haven't seen Owen Wilson's character in an episode. He didn't even do a post-credit scene, not even like a stinger, nothing. He'll be there and he'll be a major factor. So the best way to pull him in next episode is, well, he saves them. And then Loki has to defend this character that he's met. They've bonded for an episode, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're going to actually team up for real by the end of the next episode. That's what I think you follow storytelling tropes. That's sort of what would happen. I don't want it to because I don't like tropes. I want to break those. I feel like this episode broke some of the tropes a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'd like to stick with that, but it always goes back to, deviation from the norm always leads back to the norm. So
exactly. Well, that's what I was going to say. The whole show already has set up to like, hey, so Owen Wilson is looking for them right now, and he's the only one in the TVA who knows to check apocalypses. So it's only a matter of time before he gets to that one.
And also the only one who really cares about Loki as a person.
Well, and then so Loki, so he shows up, says, hey, I can save you right now, but why should I? And he's like, well, I've got this info now. We're the three of
you left, man. You left me high and dry. Why'd you do that, man?
This is the first time for me being left high and dry. Also, Board already has the best theory. Noob Killer 69. Hell yes, Noob Killer 69. Who isn't it? They like do a commercial that made it so Noob Killer 69 is actually canonically one of the dudes from Derek Comedy.
Yeah,
right.
Noob Killer 69 is a dude from Civil War.
Yes, but he was also one of the Derek Comedy guys. He was the blonde.
Oh, okay,
yep. DC Pearson, I think. DC Pearson, from Derek Comedy, who is tight, or at least at one point was tight with Donald Glover. I mean, God only knows now, Donald Glover, man, he blew up big. But so I think that's everything we could kind of conceivably really talk about in this episode. I think that this is very much setting up a lot of stuff, that's going to pay off. And especially, I think there's going to be a lot more to talk about after we get the Sylvie, flashback episode, which seems to be the next one. And then somebody pointed out, Miss Knox pointed out that Hiddleston said 4 and 5 are his favorite episodes. So we know that 6 is going to suck.
Can I jump in with one other observation to get you guys' opinions on it?
Sure.
When they show Lady Loki's horned crown, one of her horns is broken off, and then there's also a scene where she's like using it as like a weapon. So I don't know. What do you think the implications of a broken horn are, other than maybe she just beats people to death with it sometimes?
I know that it's like kind of like a direct reference to like Loki's crown sometimes in the comics, but I don't know.
Visually so, yeah. I think, I'm not sure that it has a direct reference. I mean, it'd be cool if in the flashbacks it's somehow like there's a callback to it, like that it's not a callback, but there's a continuity to it. But yeah.
Okay, it's just for okay. So this is Lady Loki Doki's comment. IDK, but I'd never been hornier in my life than I was watching that scene. I think really. I mean, we see at the end of the episode, or at some point in the episode, at one point she pulls off her crown to kind of fight with it, kind of like Loki did with his crown in Thor Ragnarok. He pulled off his crown and like used it to fuck some mofos up, right? And I think that I think that the explanation is as simple as she's just done that a bunch, and chipped it on some shit, right?
It's a callback.
Yeah,
it's definitely a callback.
And then Doug actually has a really good theory. What if they're saved by variant Peggy Carter? Yes, the people that because in the first episode, people theorized that we saw Peggy Carter, a variant of Peggy Carter. People even theorized that it was the version of Peggy Carter that Captain America himself went back to be with, and that poor woman just got pulled out of the timeline
because of it
by the TVA. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this,
depressing.
Speaking of that callback, and I know because we're in the first episode of Loki, there was that kind of what I'd call the Jersey Loki look. He had the long hair. I started thinking that everybody were just all versions of Loki. That like the whole TVA was set up to and they just are constantly, and they've when they were showing the pictures, they never really said who that other guy was. That one who went through the line without taking a ticket. He kind of looked like a Loki, but they never really said. He was just some random, variant and stuff. So I'm wondering if
some douche.
Well, yeah, but that's what. But was it douche Loki? Jersey Shore Loki.
Jersey Shore Loki.
They're all pretty insufferable, to be fair. They're all in.
All right.
Loki is all three timekeepers.
Loki is all three. Okay. But yeah. So does anybody else want to theorize on the crown thing or say anything else about the episode before we move on to watching the Shang-Chi trailer?
I have one other thought about the show, about this episode. When they were running to get to the second safe on Lamentis 1, he saved her, and she's like, "Oh, I don't need your help." Horrible line of dialogue. I don't like it. It's made me cringe the 3 times I've watched it because you're so weird. I'm like, that just took me out. That run. He's like, you're just so weird. I'm like, whoa, that's just. I hated that line. It was just of dialogue, and I'm not someone who I understand what I'm watching, but that line, I'm like, I've never heard Loki. You're weird. That's all.
A little out of character.
A little bit.
I don't know, man. It didn't stick out to me, but hey, all right. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on to our final segment, which is going to be, so let's watch the new trailer that just dropped a couple nights ago for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And then let's talk about it and let's analyze it. And away we go.
Throughout my life, the 10 rings gave our family power.
Fucking awesome.
If you want them to be yours one day, you have to show me you are strong enough to carry them.
You are a product of all who came before you. The legacy of your family. You are your mother. And whether you like it or not, you are also your father.
I told my men they wouldn't be able to kill you if they tried. Glad I was right.
You're just a criminal who murders people.
Be careful how you speak to me, boy.
I thought I could change my name. Start a new life. But I could never escape his shadow.
My son, you can't run from your past.
Is this what you wanted?
You got this.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah, that looks so hype. So let's start with Mikey for this one, as you are our resident, Marvel expert. What were some things that jumped out to you from this trailer? Especially the Abomination part. I think that was, really the biggest part for a lot of people. Although just the very much the plot and just the character arc just seems super good, super well done. Looks like it's going to be a really emotional story, hopefully. But yeah, so what were some things that jumped out to you that you noticed?
Yes, I mean, I guess like the main thing that so before getting to Abomination, which I'll end on, the streamlining of the story, the characterization of Shang-Chi himself, and making it more like, how do you fit that into a 90-minute / maybe 2-hour movie? How do you fit in all the lore of a character that is honestly like kind of like a not, and maybe other fans would agree with me on this, maybe not, not that interesting if you just like read his initial like first like 10 years worth of 70s comics, which were honestly like kung fu exploitation. They were
super racist.
Yes, 100%. And
they're all super racist.
I own those in long boxes. I could tilt my camera over there. I could show it. I won't. But I have long boxes full of those comics, and they are super racist and complicated, and but also like really fun, because they're like each story is this like each 30 pages is like this like bottle thing where it's like, oh, it's a time where he does the thing. It's sort of like Iron Fist and you know, Power Man Iron Fist kind of stuff, but better, because at least like the racial stuff is a little less intense. So I guess what I get out of it is I really feel like they're hitting all the emotional beats for when you actually, and this happened during the late 90s and early 2000s, let's bring some actual people who have, you know, Asian heritage onto writing the book and creating this. What would that look like? What would those stories, how do you take
this Asian story look like if it were written by not white guys?
Right.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I know it's crazy, but let's pretend.
Bear with me here.
Yeah. We're not going to call him the Mandarin. What if we do something different? Like, okay, let's. Jesus, you should never have done that. It's really racist. It was the 70s though, and everything was exploitation. Same thing with, you know, with Luke Cage, right? With Power Man, right? So I wish this would have been the thing we got instead of getting, you know, like, you know, Iron Fist, honestly. Like, I think this is like what I would have wanted. However, what's cool about it is I really think it takes all the things from the lore in the comics that are interesting about the family heritage and the family story, but also like is doing it in a way that seems respectful towards a character making an independent choice, and not having your villain is just a bigger, stronger version of yourself. It's his father. And that to me alone is interesting. Like, he's making his own choice when he's sent to America to, you know, I'm not sure what I should spoil. I mean, it's not really a spoiler, right? Like, talking about the basic plot where he leaves, like he's given 11 years to go and be his own thing and then come back.
I mean, he says it in the trailer. It's like, I changed my name.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I could escape my past, but it found me, blah, 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 blah.
It's in the trailer, so I don't think it's a spoiler, but like in the comics, that was the whole thing.
Which isn't incredibly new.
Yeah.
But, you know, it looks like, at least it just feels like I'm down for that if it's well done, right?
But it was like the whole thing in his family lineage was, you get to this time frame where you get to go be hedonistic, enjoy the cultures of the world, and then come back and you are now the ruler, and you are now you're the next king, right?
So like Chinese Rumsprague.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So this does it in a more interesting way. And then in terms of Abomination, to end on this, just so I can pass it on, I just think it's a really great nod to the fact he's still in universe. People have been asking about Abomination since forever, because you don't see him directly die. And also, like, that's a great character. It's a great Hulk villain. Abomination also, can I say, is in terms of people who are like who you cast in the role, other than what
Tim Roth, I mean, great actor.
He's fucking amazing. He's one of my favorite actors. Like, you gotta like, especially for like random like genre shit. I'd love to see him like de-transform after getting his ass, because look, he's gonna get his ass kicked.
Well, he was also confirmed before this, right? Abomination was also confirmed to be in the She-Hulk show.
Yes,
so we're wondering, like, how is this going to connect to that?
Well, I think like I think it's just a cameo. I think like the Marvel's amazing at marketing and saying like, hey, just to put this on the radar.
We need this. To further again, people like us will watch Shang-Chi. The common audience needs, that's the Hulk guy. They need it. So it's a deliberate input, but it's fantastic.
Totally. Yeah. So I think it's a nod. I think it's going to be a throwaway thing in here, but again, in She-Hulk, which is going to be the thing I'm more interested in, by the way, in terms of any Hulk related stuff. Like, this is just going to be a cameo. I'm cool with that. I'm actually just happy to have him pop up again, because again, especially if we get a de-transform version and he gets his ass kicked and he's like scrawny 5'5", he's like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Do you think that's Wong from Doctor Strange that he's fighting?
I've heard people saying that. I think that's miscategorized. I think that's
it's a sorcerer. It's a sorcerer, though.
Yeah,
because I mean, he is using.
It is a sorcerer. I mean, yeah, but do we think it's literally the character?
What would he be doing? Why would he be fighting Abomination in a cage match? It doesn't make any sense.
Listen, shit, because this movie takes place during the blip, man. Shit got crazy.
He needed money.
Shit get crazy during the blip, man.
You'd have to do it as it would have to be like everything around it is played for comedy. He's like, I need money because I don't have any money to get a sandwich around the corner because
they're all gone.
Game thing, right?
He's just
like,
needs to eat too, man.
Only way that would work, and I'd love that. But yeah,
a bombs transforms into Rick Jones would be an awesome Easter egg. I don't get that reference. Do you get it, Mikey?
No, not at all.
Okay, sweet. Okay, well, it's a Doug Fitzgerald comment. That's right. Okay,
Doug being Doug.
Doug being Doug. Okay, Aaron. Anything else you want to add? Versus, and so but just to be clear, so you do think that's Wong, right?
So initially, yes, but upon rewatch, they already have the Abomination for the thing. What use does it? It's a sorcerer. It's a sorcerer of the mystic arts. Is it Wand? Probably not, because I mean, all these guys, all the big actors. Benedict Wand is a big actor. They want to use him. He's going to be, unless it is another setup into, hey, here's Doctor. But no, I think it's just a mystic arts guy. I'm very excited about this movie. As a long time 1970s exploitive kung fu movie fan, all the way. That's why I love Tarantino so much. To watch it as what they are. For the books, not so much the racism, including I love the 1970s Kentucky Fried Movie. The sub movie within it is just so we're building an army of glorious magnitude. Fantastic. Very excited about that Abomination, but yeah, that's marketing for sure, because I don't think the character himself, even though it has the Marvel tag at the beginning, I don't think the character itself has enough to carry, a movie. So they need to use Abomination and tie-ins like that with my side. And possibly Wong.
Shang-Chi is being sold on the strength of Abomination and Wong. two characters with huge fan followings.
Well, and Mikey didn't mention, but the water protector. It's Fin Fang Foom, not in name, but in in.
I mean, it looks just like him.
Yeah, but it's
just like him. But they said that Fin Fang Foom won't be in this, and I think it's just because.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just call the Great Protector. That's a fine name.
Let's just not use Fing Fang Foom.
Let's have, they should just connect this to fucking the Never-Ending Story and just have it be Falcor the Luck Dragon. It's like he finds Falcor the Luck Dragon underwater, and then it's like the book is real. And
it really never ends.
It never did end. And then we could get Jack Black to come back and reprise his role in the third one.
Best character in the franchise.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, and quickly, I am hoping too, because, and you guys are right, as far as making say amends or bring it into the MCU totally, is I'm hoping that with the Shang-Chi, that'll allow them to do a proper Iron Fist, and show where he comes from, to bring in Luke Cage into the universe again, and then with the Abomination being in She-Hulk, do we think that that's going to be a comedic drama comedy, the She-Hulk show? Because I'm hearing Charlie Cox and stuff, which I think in a John Byrne, the 90s John Byrne fashion, we're going to get that
100% comedy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You think She-Hulk's going to be comedy?
100%.
It's going to be like Office style.
Yeah, it is literally in the every good run of She-Hulk ever. The legendary runs are self-referential, fourth wall breaking, jokey comedies, and that will be what we get. If it's not, the fans will revolt, and they know not to do that.
Good.
So it'll be your first really good comedy. It'll be your first. I mean, Ant-Man is a comedy, but not really. She-Hulk is going to be the first. That's a comedy.
Good.
Ant-Man is, and the Ant-Man movies are 2 attempts at comedy.
Yes, they're MCU comedy. They're like attempts at being like, we'll do the MCU, but a little bit more jokes.
But here's the thing.
Jokes already.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 and Ragnarok are actually funny Marvel movies. Yes.
Well, and that's the thing with these shows too. Is Marvel isn't afraid to branch out and try different tropes, so to speak, and say, "Hey, look, we're going." Yeah, exactly. Marvel Fox.
Yeah, Marvel. They fuck on TV, especially. They fuck. They fuck with the TV, but they don't fuck in the movies.
No. Okay. All right. Jack, what do you think? Anything else you want to add about this trailer?
I think we covered everything. I was going to mention the Water Guardian, aka Fing Fang Foom. I was excited for that. But yeah, them changing the name makes complete and utter sense. I don't.
Good move.
Yeah, it's not a character like Mikey was saying that I like most people know. He's like kind of like a backlog character. Like I don't really know anything about this guy. So, but just watching the trailer, like I'm super excited for it. It looks great. I was on the fence until I saw the trailer. I was like, who is this guy? Give us some named characters. Give us a new X-Men. Give us, whatever. But like this looks good, and I like the Abomination. I like the water guy. Yeah, I think they're gonna really Wong. Yeah, whatever. But I think that they're gonna if RZA doesn't make a cameo in this and or write a song for it, they have completely fucked up.
Yep. 100%. I when I saw the trailer, I thought the same thing. I'm like, where's RZA? He has to have a song.
I feel that.
A song, or just like he's the new Stan Lee. You know what I mean? Like RZA should just be in every new Marvel movie.
No, Ralph Boner is in every new Marvel. He'd be the Rick Jones of the MCU.
Yeah, because Stan Lee's gone. He can't do those cameos anymore. Who's going to do it? It's going to be Ralph Boner? Who's going to do it?
We should just Princess Leia him into every fucking movie. Anyway.
No.
Continuity.
Just CGI him. CGI.
I would love a
Uncanny
Force Ghost Stan Lee.
Okay. All right. So, I think that's a full episode, right? I feel like we've touched on pretty much everything that we could. We went into that trailer. We shat on Marvel's promotional tactics, their YouTube presence, and we recapped the episode. So this was a pretty fun time. So everybody, go around and promote your shit to the people watching. Jack, let's start with you. Where we can find you on social media? What do you got coming down the pipe?
Well, I'm on Instagram at Sick Wizard and Twitter at Greater Clownbat, both all one word, no underscores or nothing. If you're in the Seattle area, come check me out. I'm producing 2 rooms now. I'm at different things. Comedy's coming back. That's how you would check me out if you're in Seattle.
If you're in Seattle. If you don't live in Seattle, fuck you.
If you don't, well, I mean, that's, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. Okay. All right. Aaron. Wait. There we go.
As Jack said, comedy's coming back. I'm finally hitting the mic scene again, starting to produce my room, hopefully, working on the logistics with that. So starting to do that again. I'm actually very excited because, the prior 5-6 years of doing it, now going back, it's all new. It's all fresh, all new material. I'm not even relying on old stuff. It's exciting. It's a real, I was scared with the pandemic and everything going on, like what was going to happen. But for me personally, these last couple weeks for comedy, it feels like year one again, which a lot of people might be like, oh, well, and it's just, there's an excitement there. And I'm happy about that. I mentioned before about the eBay selling, summertime ain't happening, guys. If you're out there selling, dial back a little bit, because sales ain't happening, get ready for the fall and winter, and check me out on Twitter. I post there probably once a week and have a great time with these things. Check this show out every week, though. I mean, even if I'm not on, check this show out every week.
Ooh, well, thank you for plugging my stuff. That's nice of you. Also, I didn't even realize you got a Tegrity Farms shirt. Hell yeah, baby. Tegrity Farms.
Tegrity weed.
Yeah, Aaron, so much love to you. I also love the fact that the entire time I was staring at that huge bong behind you. So,
oh shit!
I mean, nothing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I was eyeing that as well.
The display piece.
I didn't even see it. That's
You know,
that's how much
it's
integrity I
right to-
smoke.
Yeah.
The great things about like pieces like that, and we all is anything like that, is you buy like, oh, I'm gonna grip to see it. I probably use that thing twice. It's just they're so inconvenient, for anything. That I'm not 18 anymore. I don't smoke with a
It's
group
like
of
you
friends.
put that out because you're a peacock. You're like, hey, this like, check this out. I'm peacocking my. Anyway.
And I have my cat now, so it's just my luck. The fucking cat will knock that shit over. Yeah, that's the last thing I fucking need.
Smash your bong.
I just keep
cat.
a,
I
I just
love
keep
that
a
thing.
gravity bong in my bathroom in the back of the toilet.
It's a good place for it.
I just snort my weed off the floor. Wait, what?
I also snort the marijuana.
Yeah, I snort it all day. So I am Mikey Jesus with a G, not a J, everywhere on social medias. Halloween with Mikey G on Instagram. And then every Thursday, I do Twins, This Week in Nerd Stuff with Justin P. Drew. Shushy! 7 p.m. new time, which is amazing. So that show's been a lot of fun. We're growing that. It's been great. So come check it out. I think he's very happy about it. It's my favorite thing. It's my favorite moment of the week. Is that good? Bad? I don't know. It is my favorite moment of the week. So
it's both good and bad.
Yeah. Watch our archive shows. They've been getting fun. The last episode, I think we ended with a laugh so hard you cry match at the end. So
yeah. Wait, what was that about? I don't
even know. All I know is we were
high.
having a good time, and
Yeah.
no one was.
Oh wait, yeah, it was. I asked everybody, would they masturbate to Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes, that's it.
Yes, and then I kept updating the question. I was like, wait, okay, how many minutes would you spend not masturbating to Sonic?
So if you want to see a show like that talks about how much you would masturbate to Sonic,
yes.
make
Not
sure to
classy
tune in.
shows like this where we ask you, is Loki a top or a bottom?
Right. Yeah, this is way more subtle. So tune in for This Week in Nerd Stuff if you want classy questions like that. That's every week on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Sweet. And then finally, look at me. I'm big now. Look at me. I need to wear more green shirts because I love feeling like a Force ghost.
Well, 'tis the season.
A switch. And Doug said a switch. Yeah, that's everybody's answer. Fuck you. I love you. Doug.
He's a
Thank you for being
Nintendo
here.
Switch.
Yes, he's a Nintendo Switch. I need to have you in the comments, Doug. I love it. Sorry, I'm such an asshole. So this Monday's special event, this Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, me versus Dave Thomas of Quarantine Action Wrestling fame, aka Rip Nasty. He will be coming to my house in my living room as we do a Smash Bros. First to 10 to decide who is the better Smash player, and the loser has to eat a chicken tender covered in da bomb live on stream. And in the past I've done like a gentleman's bet where I've eaten the bomb anyway, but not for fucking Dave Thomas, man. If that dude loses, he eats the bomb alone while I laugh. So
you laugh more the next morning too. Like it's gonna be, it hurts in, it hurts out. It's great.
Yeah, so it's very. I've had it before. It's very spicy when it comes out of the butthole. There are taste buds there. I'm sure. I've learned it. I've seen it. I've seen it with my eyes and my ass. So that, and then also for anybody who subscribes to the channel and you are in the chat the whole time, I will be giving $25 away to a random subscriber. So maybe it's you. If you're the only subscriber who lasts to the very end of that, then it could be you. So consider that. Also, Wednesday on the Film Simps, we are reviewing the Bob Odenkirk movie, Nobody. I'm very excited for that. I saw it in theaters. I'm going to be rewatching it in the next couple days. Loved it the first time. Very excited to go back and kind of get a 2 month later perspective on it. That should be fun. That's, of course, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, of course, This Week in Nerd Stuff with Mikey on Thursday at 7 p.m. And then this show next week. And next week we have Mark Gallagher and Lisa Lang as special guests, plus the return of Rashid Towns, a.k.a. Cool Hand Raw, who could not be here this week, and we are very sad. But he like a phoenix, he rises from the ashes, and will be here next week. And in the meantime, Thanks to everybody who watches my channel and who commented. Thanks to Port already. Thanks to Rashid. Thanks to Lady Loki Doki. Thanks to Miss Knox. Thanks to anybody I missed. I think that's kind of everybody. There's just 4 people commenting a whole lot. Oh, Lucille was also here briefly. And